Hello, my fellow Zwifters. Welcome to the recording of a race I did November 18th, 23. It's part of the Neokyo series in November. It's 4 races. This is stage 2. It's 3 laps of Twilight Harbor. I don't know the route exactly, it's pretty flat. So yes, let's see how it develops. I was surprised. In the end, it's more than 100 riders. When I signed in for the race, it was like 16, and actually I don't know exactly how to handle these big fields. The jersey I have is Wattfabrik. It's a German team of about 200 riders. We are riding Cut C, me and my team for ZRL, for example. It's a C-Cut team. In the category, I'm very lightweight with 73, so in the flat races normally I encounter people that are much heavier than me. But yes, I developed some strength and some sprint, so I can compete in this division. Let's see how it unfolds. You might recognize that all the guys, although it's a flat race, all of them have a tron. You get this bike assigned for the event. That's perhaps a good option for lower level riders that have not yet climbed 50 kilometers of altitude, which is condition for getting the tron bike. So even a level 10 rider can ride a tron. Actually, I think I would like to have one in real life. Perhaps not easy to realize, but it looks really cool. I didn't change the color, so I think the default bike is yellow, as long as we don't change it in the garage. It's nice, but unfortunately a lot of guys here have it could be more colorful if everybody had switched the color. By incident, this is a race actually, it's for 1 week, it's the same course, and it's almost every hour. I think there's 1 or 2 hours of the day where the race isn't started, but almost every hour you can encounter and start this race. So it was a surprise to see a second guy of my team. From time to time he pops up here on the right. You can see same jersey. He's from my team. And we are even in the same ZRL team, which is not obvious. We even have more than one ZRL team, Zwift Racing's team from Wattfabrik. So it was a surprise to see him at Stefan. And yes, it was fun to ride with him, and from time to time see him. The blob is so big that actually it's not possible to ride against or ride side by side. It doesn't work. But from time to time he passes by. It was funny. As you might recognize, Neokyo is colorful, and it's always night. It's the only city where the sun never shines. It's probably to make the colorful signs and so on more visual. I like it. I like it a lot. The problem is that in Watopia it's easy to orient. Where am I? What is there an incline, a descent, a corner? It's not so easy here. I'm riding here a lot actually, also with the pace partners, but I'm always surprised. Oh, an incline, a descent. Oh, the sprint banner is there. That's really crazy. Okay, back to how this race develops. Actually, we had kind of split already. This is normal because here in the front you see riders that have like 3.3 watt per kilo for 20 minutes, like me, which is more on the upper limit of the category. And of course, some poor guys, they just entered cut C with 2.5 or 2.7 watts per kilo. So they fight perhaps in another block for the position, but of course for them it's very hard to sustain in this form as we do here, because my threshold is about 235, something like that, perhaps 240. So yes, even for me sometimes it's above threshold, which is of course not sustainable for a long term. So I need to save some energy in the draft. Of course I can do some pushes like 350, 400, and the sprint perhaps up to 800, 900 watts. But for such a race, even it's only 20 kilometers, so it's a short race. But even then, I cannot go like 280, 290 for a long time. So for me, being a lightweight rider, it's very difficult to get into a break here. I would really suffer. I can, on an incline I do much better. Actually I'm very good for 1 or 5 minutes. These are even better than my sprint in the moment. Especially the 1 minute is very strong. So, for example, Innsbruck leg snapper is something I can perform very well, but here on the flat, of course, I need to stay in the draft. I cannot push to the front and terminate the rest of the field. Completely impossible. So actually, yes, there are some heavy riders that perhaps can do that, or at least for a kilometer or something. If they are at the upper limit of the weight per kilo, weight per watt per kilo. Of course, if they are like 110 kilo, 3.3 watt per kilo, this is 330 watts. They can then push probably 400 for some time. This would help to crack the field, but this is not possible for me. So it's just waiting and reacting if there is a split, or somebody tries to break away. I can try to go with them. If it's a split in the middle of the field, I could of course be in the front group and even bridge a small gap. But I cannot attempt to go with 1 or 2 other riders. I would only suck their wheels, and this is they will of course also in some point of time retire and go back to the field. So here there is a small incline, and I tried. Actually, I didn't like the size of the group, so I was pushing for 350 for some time. But look to the blob, to the shape of the blob. It doesn't change at all. So even having a small incline of 3-4% here, it's not sufficient to crack. This was of course a surprise. It's exactly my companion from my team helping the blob to bridge, but I was not really in front. He pushes also for some time. It's actually Stefan Lenz, is his name. He is even a little bit weaker than me, so it's a nice try, but we didn't have a chance. He's heavier than me, but even then I think we have about the same threshold power. So it was nice to see my jersey alone in front, but it was just to stretch out the field. Actually, this was a success. Look to the field. It was like a wake-up call for some other guys also to push. And actually we are even dropping a few people. but not reasonable. We are still like 80 people in the block. Now I was hoping that the stretch maintains and going again to the front, push a little bit. And actually, yes, in the back you see that a few guys didn't make it. The problem is, what is the meaning, what is the sense? Actually, if I want to win, of course, if it was a team tactic, this could make sense. But we are just two against a field of 50s. We are dropping the weakest riders. I try to compete for some front places. Of course, not winning the whole thing, but perhaps to be within the first 20. So means to drop the slowest rider doesn't make too much sense. It's just to get a better overview about the blob, that makes sense. A smaller blob is easier, a smaller group is better to observe and to control than such a huge bunch. There could be some surprises, like a rider you didn't even see before, who is holding back in the moment and then pushes through the blob to the front and wins this thing. So such a big blob has always, if you're in the back, it's rather difficult to enter the front again, because you need to move through so many riders. And with the pack dynamics 4.1, it became more difficult to pass people if you are only doing a few watts more. So you must really push if you want to go to the front. One lap done. So now we have seen everything. Actually, no incline that enables for some kind of split, or even it doesn't make too much sense to push hard, because you're the one in the front and you suffer. In a team, of course, if you have 5 or 6 people, you could go for a break with one person and then the other is bridge, and see if they can form a group in front, perhaps with some other strong rider. But with 2 people alone, this doesn't make sense. And we were not even connected by Discord, because I wasn't aware that he would join, and it would be a bold move to try with these riders. I'm not an outstanding C rider, to somehow beat here the complete field with a breakaway. Actually, in the sprint, I was very strong. Some years ago, I was suffering from severe disease for 18 months, which I needed to take a lot of cortisone, which meant that my legs were tiny. Perhaps good for a tiny race, tiny legs. I regained some strength only in the last months, like in the last 4 or 5 months, getting back almost to all strength, but unfortunately the sprint is gone. The endurance and cardio works well, but the sprint is gone. My best sprint value for 15 seconds in a race was like 12 point something, which is rather good for a C rider. And I was even a little bit heavier, meaning that I could push more than 1000 watts for some seconds, which of course gives a good acceleration and serves even for a lightweight rider. It serves for a short, very fast sprint, which sometimes help to win a race. But became much more difficult now. But it's fun. Actually, I like racing a lot. Some people say I'm crazy, but also I somehow can withstand these races 2-3 a week is not a problem for me, and I recover well. Now we have an interesting situation. Some guys have really done a bold move, went to the front, but of course the field accelerates. If you look to the speedometer, 44 in an incline of 2%. For C-cut this is rather fast, and so of course they are caught. They're not really getting away, and of course this is a demotivation. If you are in front, you push hard, and the field simply reacts and nullifies immediately this attempt to break away. Yeah, with the power-ups it was a little bit difficult. I was always waiting for a helmet. I was not doing hard to maintain my position in the blob. In that case, actually a helmet is the best for the last few hundred meters, like 200, perhaps even 300. But the helmet, the draft also is a good option. You get 2 power-ups per lap, so I was still optimistic to perhaps get also a helmet. And the draft simply is used to simply save some energy and to recover a little bit. It's 30 seconds, which is an advantage over the helmet, which is only 15 seconds. This is really only for a final sprint, or if you want to bridge a short distance to another group. The helmet can help, but the draft is actually, for a lightweight rider, the draft is also a very good option. In 30 seconds is of course something you can work with. Yeah, the blob didn't significantly reduce. Still about the same size, at least 50 people. So if you don't have the balls to break away, this is a pretty lame phase of the race. Still 1.5 lap to go.
Right
10 kilometers. We just passed the 10 kilometer banner. So in the Tour de France route, now it's the finale. In Zwift the races are shorter, so we just did half of the race. The pack dynamics 4.1 makes it a little bit difficult, more difficult to advance in the blob. You need to push significantly more than the one on your side to get to the front. So in the moment it's saving energy, perhaps a little bit too far behind. If we would see a split now, it could become difficult to react. But actually, with this flat course, with no really separation possibilities from the terrain, it was difficult to imagine that we see a serious breakaway. Now again, we see somebody who tries, but again, this is nullified within minutes. One guy is even more in front. So it was 2, now it's one in front. I think this is something like 30 meters, 40 meters. So some already at least 2-3 seconds. And now we push a little bit harder, I think. To stay there for like 30 seconds is already tough. Yeah, of course, what could happen in such a situation is that the field splits, and this is the reason why I went to the front, not to catch this guy, but simply to be on the right side of a split if it happens. And again, as you have seen in the mini-map, we lost a few riders, but not too many. And this, of course, sucks really. I have received a ghost in the last lap banner, so it doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's not the lap banner, it's the sprint banner, I think. Yeah, the ghost for me, it's a possibility for a breakaway, but as I'm just 73 kilos, it makes no sense to think even about a breakaway. So for me, I could have pushed this to the bin as well. It's exactly no meaning for me. So there's only two more to come. With two more ghosts on screw. And now we lap the first guy. Amazing. That guy in front, he didn't break away as far as I could see. He just, now he was passed even, from the first guy. I think he was using him as a kind of relay station, catapulting or slingshotting from him. But again, it's a few seconds. It's 7 kilometers slow. Yes, it's nice that some people try because it changes the pace a little bit, but no success so far. Perhaps I do this from time to time when I want to do a photo. Position 1, only my tricot, my jersey, no one else near. It looks nice, but it will not stay. Yeah, this time I decided that I participate to get them back, because this seemed a little bit more serious, with 3 riders in the front, all really pushing. If they so far managed to have the blob at that speed, if these were the 3 riders, then of course it's a dangerous move. But as you can see in the minimap, everything is together. I could have saved even more energy, but you don't know before, so from time to time you need to show up in the front of the pack. Still more than 6 kilometers, almost 1 lap to go. Yes, everybody now should know the track more or less, to know that there is no severe or no steep incline, no point of decision or something. It's simply a flat race to the end. Again, one is dropped, if I see that correct. So it's not 50 anymore, but only 49. I don't know, it's really was a little bit frustrating. I like courses where there is at least once per lap some kind of, how do you call that, Scharfrichter, we call in Germany, where simply the tail of the snake is cut off. Is leg snapper in Innsbruck. Leg snapper is the perfect example. I like the leg snapper, and similar course is Paris. Paris, the Arc de Triomphe course, which is Champs-Élysées. Champs-Élysées I like also. It's a punchy climb, short but tough. The points race on Champs-Élysées. This is really nice. I think it's 40 or even 50 meters of climbing. And you do it normally in a sprint. If you go in the normal direction and it's a point race, every uphill is a sprint. Really tough, but it's so much fun. And you have 7 kilometers to recover. The lap is rather long. I really like that race. Again, somebody attacked. But again, nullified in seconds. So now I received a draft, and now of course there is one more. If you want to gamble, you go for a helmet and use the draft before in front of the next banner and hope for a helmet. If you don't like to gamble, and actually I'm a little bit more conservative, as I'm 59 already, so I decided I won't gamble. I want a secure front pack place, for sure. I felt well. It was, look to my heart rate, it's like 150, and my max is like 172, 73, something like that. So there was quite some room. I was not really exhausted. Talking to my son again. My son he likes me to see me suffering. But he's racing as well. He's a quite good D rider because he's so lightweight. On the climbs he's very strong. And as he races as well, he already won some D-cat races. He was, of course I push a lot more watts, but I'm double his weight. So in the end he climbs as fast as I do. On the flats, of course, he cannot compete. So I was talking a lot to him because I'm not suffering in the moment. It's not a relaxed pace, as you see from the colors. Everything red is above threshold. But in the moment, for example, this is tempo, zone 3, can be managed. I can ride 207, I can ride for a long time. Perhaps 2 or 3 hours, something like that. But of course, you see the spikes and the surges that will be above my FTP. So it was not an easy race, but manageable. Of course, in the end, the last sprint, it's not a GC race where I'm somewhere in the back. So I push, of course, to the final stretch, and then it becomes exhausting. This is clear. But in the moment, this is relaxed pace. And 46 even it dropped a little bit. Normally, in the end of the race, due to excitement and of course exhaustion, the heart rate goes up. No question. But we are not yet there. It's still 2.9 kilometers, almost 3. So not yet in direct sprint preparation. But it's to be expected. The blob is huge. There were some attempts to get away, all not successful, so everybody is now waiting. And the last kilometer will be probably very fast. It's still too big. There are some in this race, heavy, perhaps not such a good sprint. Of course, they will make the race very, very fast in the end. Now it's already 250 watts, so I pushed again a little bit. You see it from the colors in the power graph. About 2 kilometers. The earliest breaks, I already saw some breaks that happened like 2 kilometers before. But you need a certain phenotype of rider, a puncher, who can put out 2 minutes very strong. He would go for a breakaway now if he doesn't have a good sprint. Of course, these strong riders, in almost all cases, they also have a good sprint, so they can also rely on the sprint. So now we have somebody attacking, going a little bit longer, but he's caught immediately. We go 52 kilometers an hour. So no sea rider can escape from this blob in the moment, I think. For some seconds, yes, but not more than that. Perhaps to show off. And of course I could have pushed my draft, hope for either another draft or a helmet, but I decided to simply keep the draft. I felt well and I thought could be top 10, something like that. But as you can see, the heart rate increased to 160, so this push there that you also can see in the colored graph, it was quite exhausting. So it was obvious that it won't be one of my best sprints because simply some exhaustion is already kicking in. Now we have 1 kilometer. I miscalculated a little bit with the draft. It lasts for 30 seconds if you go like 50, which is normal in a sprint. It's about 400 meters. And I pulled this draft, or my son, I pulled it too late, but I didn't tell him earlier, so this was my fault. I should have pushed the draft a little bit earlier. And I dangled a little bit too far in the end of the pack. I should have been like, now I pushed to the front. It's more that the others reduced their speed. Now this position is actually rather good. If I can maintain that and then do a final surge which is strong, now I should have kicked in the draft a little bit earlier. And now I push, number is orange for quite a long time. Oh, quite a long time. And still a long time. So I'm pushing. And there we have the banner. One more. Ah! Yeah, this poor guy, I just passed him in the very last meters. Yeah, 5th position. I was pretty satisfied. It was a surprise to me from 120 people to achieve 5th place. Was a surprise in a flat race. So rather good legs today. And let's see. Yes, hope to see you again very soon. Perhaps we meet in a race. There's the arm for my son, so I'm stopping.